Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently, let's see what time it is. Can't even see my phone without my readers. It is currently 6:27 p.m. on this chilly Saturday evening. You hear the plane overhead. All the sounds and smells of the Midwest. I can smell all the people that are having fires in their fireplaces. I can smell the smell of fireplaces coming out into the chilly night air. It's actually not too cold. It's chilly, but it's chilly like the food, but it's not like cold. It's not like freezing. I think it was like 50 today, something like 50, 52 or something like that today. It wasn't too bad, and but it's gotten a little bit colder. Last night, well, you guys know with my vlog last night, if you watched it, how windy it was. It just kept on getting windier and windier. I mean, like, it was crazy last night. In fact, after I got done vlogging, I laid down for a little bit, and I was laying down in bed, and I could hear, like, this chair, it was like blowing up against the wall. Like, I could hear it like hitting the wall. And I was like, this is so crazy. And my pots that I got from Costco, this one kept on turning over, and that one I thought was going to turn over too. So I moved that one over into the corner. It's fine today. It's not as windy today. It was a little bit windy earlier, but it's not so windy now. So, and Alex has just been resting today in bed most of the day and relaxing, and he's been binge watching the entire first season of the new Gossip Girl, because apparently the second season of the new Gossip Girl, not the old Gossip Girl, but the new Gossip Girl, just came out. And so he was binge watching the old Gossip Girl, and then today he like binge watched the entire, I think like last night and today he binge watched the entire first season of the new Gossip Girl so that he can start watching. He is in love with that show, so that he can start watching the second season of it. I think only like the first episode came out. Last night I watched, well, I took a long nap. It was like really, really nice nap. I always get Boo Radley like snuggled right next to me, and then I always tell him that we're settling down for a long winter's nap. Like in 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. But anyway, I took a long nap, and then I got up, and all the sounds out tonight, and I got up and I watched RuPaul's Drag Race Canada versus the World, and then I started watching 1899, and I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and well, I think I almost finished the second episode. But to be honest with you, I started getting like, I feel like I watched something else too. I feel like I maybe watched a couple YouTube videos or something. I started getting like really, really bored of it. You know what? It's so funny. Okay, I started watching this YouTube channel. I don't even know how it got recommended to me. And it's this gay couple, and they have a daughter that they adopted. The only way I know that is because I watched like 2 of their vlogs. Their vlogs were like extremely long. They're like 40 minutes long. And I don't even know like why. Like, I just sit there, like I had it on in the background while I was like doing like bills and stuff today, and while I was like uploading my other videos, I like had one of their vlogs. I can't even remember the guy's name is, Steven something. His name is Steven, and he calls his partner Dad, and it's like their channel name is like something family vlogs or something like that. Alex is in the kitchen, he's cooking. I said, what are you gonna have for dinner? And he said, pizza and French fries. I said, oh, that sounds delicious. So he's gonna take me to go get something afterwards, because I don't really have a whole lot of food around here. I can't remember, here, I should look it up and see. I don't remember what channel. So the problem is in looking up on my like library, you know how you can look in your library to see like the videos that you watched? Well, when you have 6 channels and you're uploading on them, it's hard to remember like what channel I think I was on my Peter Does Stuff channel because I was uploading this video that Caroline and I did. Oh yeah, here they are. It's turned up right here. And this is actually, I wanted to see them talk about this. It's called Adoption Day. Our journey through our unique adoption as an LGBT family. And this was 3 weeks ago. And their channel name is The Holgate Family. And this guy looked kind of familiar to me. And I was like, how do I know this guy? Like, he looks familiar to me. And so I went over to his Instagram, and this is me falling down the rabbit hole, okay, of like social media and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So, I went over to his Instagram, and do you guys remember that show that Paris Hilton had, and it was called like My New BFF or whatever? He was the guy that like auditioned for the show, that she came out and said that she didn't believe that she could have a guy as her new BFF or whatever. But there's like, this whole camera thing tonight is like really driving me crazy because it's not focusing at all. Come on, focus. But anyway, he was the one that was going to be like her BFF, which is kind of interesting when you watch the vlog because, I mean, he still kind of sounds like Paris Hilton and is, you know, all that, but like, he's very much about being a dad. And like the one that I watched was, I think it was their most recent vlog, and it was their like dressing up for Halloween and taking their daughter trick-or-treating and like cooking. They were getting together with some of the other, like the parents of some of the friends of their daughter's probably like 10 or something. And then they were like cooking food in the kitchen. I mean, it's just very simple and normal, which is like, these are the kind of things that I love to watch on YouTube. I know it's corny, but like, these are the things that I watch. So anyway, I watched like one of their vlogs last night, and then I watched like one of their vlogs today. I watched the Halloween vlog today. But I don't know anything about their adoption story with their daughter. And so I was going to look on their channel to see about that. It's always interesting to me, you know, like even though, like Alex and I have made the decision to not have kids, and, you know, that's a decision that we want based on how we live our life. It's like, I enjoy watching channels like Matt and Blue, where they do have kids and things like that, and how that process happens for them, and, you know, whatever. I think partly because, when I came out, like, to imagine a world where gay couples would be getting married, adopting kids, let alone living those lives on social media out and proud, is like crazy to me. You know, like I couldn't have imagined that when I first came out. So I really enjoy watching those. Oh, I know the other thing that I did was so I follow this account on Instagram. I think it's called the AIDS Memorial. Hold on a second, let me look it up. The AIDS, yeah, it's called the AIDS Memorial, and stories of love, loss, and remembrance. And December 1st was World AIDS Day, and so I was reading through here because they've posted like a lot of stories. And so like what they'll do is they'll take somebody's picture, like somebody will send it in and they'll like take their picture, and then they'll write a story about them. Like this person wrote, like, Gary was my first long-term boyfriend. I remember cooking eggs for breakfast in the kitchen while he read the New York Times at the table in his robe with our gray checked parakeet, Rodney, on his shoulder. And they're just like super endearing. And I think that it also, like all of these lives lost to AIDS, you know, I think it really humanizes those stories. And I think it's important that we remember. I think, like, you know, it's interesting in talking about, like, American Horror Story, New York, NYC, which only showed glimpses of people dying from AIDS, you know, in that show. But like, I got like really kind of like different comments when I would talk about it, like on my, you know, social media and things like that. I would either get people that would say, people forget that this is exactly what it was like, or I would get people that would say, like, I can't believe that people live this way. You know, even my own husband, because he wasn't alive during all this, he was like, when we were watching it, and he and I had watched like a lot of like AIDS movies and AIDS shows and things like that. He's like, it's just, every time we see something like this, it's just baffling to me that, you know, people were in hospitals and they weren't getting the appropriate medical care, and doctors and nurses wouldn't treat them and things like that. And that, you know, how sad and how scary it was. And I think one of the things that's really important is, you know, first of all, I think it's important, obviously, to remember their stories. These were human beings that had lives and, you know, had futures that were cut short, and had families and friends that loved them. And, you know, and I think back on like the quilts, you know, like the AIDS quilts and stuff like that, and how it was like on the news all the time. I can just remember, and it's like, we just like, and all of a sudden it just kind of like went away and was forgotten. But there are still so many people out there that are, you know, living with AIDS or HIV positive, and are, you know, asymptomatic and, you know, undetectable today, which is awesome, which is phenomenal, right? I think it's important to, though, remember that not just with AIDS, but with anything, that we could return to something like that. You know, something like that could happen again. And did we learn from our mistakes, from our errors of our past, or would we treat human beings the same way again in the future? I hope not, you know? So for that reason, I like to read those. But most of the time that I do, I cry my eyes out. What are you cooking in there? Hello? What are you cooking in there?
Food.
What kind of food?
Bad.
He said bad. So I read some of those, and then I watched that vlog. I just kind of like, it's so funny, like the stuff that I watch. Like I'll end up like watching like the best Snatch games from RuPaul's Drag Race, or 20 minutes of Alyssa Edwards being hilarious. I mean, I just watch like the stupidest stuff on YouTube. So anyway, did that, and then I watched the first 2 episodes of 1899. I think I got like to 10 minutes before the end of the second episode of 1899. I'm not loving it. Are you guys watching it? Like, first of all, I don't love shows that right out of the gate introduce, like, I really just thought it was going to be a show. So if you don't know what it's about, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, obviously, because I'm only in the second episode, but it's about this, well, you don't really know what it's about, honestly. It's about this woman, and she's a doctor, and she's traveling on this boat in 1899. And she's gone through something traumatic. You don't know what it is. That's like in the first 5 minutes of the show. And like been in some kind of psychiatric hospital or something like that. And her brother tells her to meet her in New York. So she's on this boat. And at the same time, there's been this boat, the Prometheus, that's gone missing. This huge like steamliner, you know, like Titanic, that's gone missing out in the middle of the ocean. And they can't find it. And so that's what the whole thing is about, is this ship that they supposedly find, and they only find one person on. But like, here's the thing. I don't love shows that, I can smell what he's cooking in there. That's so crazy. I don't love when shows introduce like 15 really weird ideas all at the same time. And like this one, it's like every character has some strange backstory, and then there's like all of these different weird things that are happening, and none of them make sense, and they definitely don't, any of them make sense together. And I'm wondering how they're going to tie it all together in 8 episodes, you know? So, and I have to say, I have a little bit of an issue with the fact that I feel like the show kind of plays on cultural stereotypes a little bit. Like several different ones. But I'm going to talk about that when I review the show. So if I end up finishing it, I don't even know if I'll get through. There is kind of like something like, there's like this eerie quality to it that, come on. Am I going to have to start this and stop this and start this over? There is something that's like kind of, there is kind of like an eerie quality to it that I like. Do you hear the geese? They land in the lakes around our neighborhood, the ponds, the lakes. But there is like a very eerie quality, because it's just this huge ship, you know, out in the middle of the ocean. And so I do like watching those parts of it, and it's interesting. But so yeah, we didn't really do a whole lot today whatsoever. I was going to, well, I filmed a review video, and then I put a video up already on my Peter Does Stuff channel. It was of that garden center that Caroline and I went to yesterday. And then I'm vlogging now. I was actually going to do a Peterisms video, and well, had I got motivated early enough, I could have gotten videos done on all of my channels, but I just really wasn't that motivated today, in all honesty. I could have done a Peterisms video, and then I was kind of like trying to figure out what I wanted to do a drama video about. There were a couple different things, but I was like, I don't know that I really feel like any one of these that I want to talk about, you know? And so I was like, I'm just going to skip the drama today. I have, like, I've been making a list of booktube videos that I want to do. One of them I need to go to the bookstore for. So I think maybe like after brunch tomorrow. I have a couple errands that I need to run after brunch tomorrow. So we'll go to brunch. I don't know where. I would love to go to that Big Bear's Biscuits, but I know Alex won't want to go there. We'll go to brunch and then go to the bookstore, and then there was like, I was thinking of, I had like 3 or 4 other things that I needed to do. Now why can't I remember what the other one was? Shoot, why can't I remember it? Anyway, there was something else I wanted to do. And then, yeah, that's about it. And just Rex. And then I'm going to come back, and I am going to film a drama video tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do, well, I finished Wednesday, about Wednesday Addams, so I want to do my review of that. So I may do my review of that tomorrow. I probably won't do a Peter Does Stuff video tomorrow. The next Peter Does Stuff video that I do will probably be Monday, and it'll be like the Christmas bedding. I'm putting up, I have like a little Christmas tree for the bedroom. I'll do that. And then Tuesday or Wednesday, depending, will be the day that I do Peter Does Stuff video, putting up my Christmas tree downstairs. So those will be those days, and then just drama videos all week long, and then Peterisms videos all week long, and then I got a couple booktube videos planned for this week, because I'm trying to be consistent on that again. So yeah. I feel rested. I got a lot of sleep last night, which was good. I actually wanted to go in and like, I haven't read some comments on the vlog in quite some time, so I wanted to like read some comments on here. What time is it? My neighbors are doing something. I can hear them up there. Okay, let's read some comments. Sally said, I have a bow for my mailbox. I found it at the nursery I get my trees at, but I'm thinking Amazon would have them, or just Googling them too. Okay, so this is so funny that you just said this, Sally. So I actually, because I just told my neighbor, I said, would you want a bow for your mailbox? Because my neighbor across the street, she was like, if I was telling her, and she goes, oh. And I said, well, would you want one if I found one? And so she said, yeah. And so if I like found them, I thought they would have them on Amazon. I was just going to buy them for like my 2 neighbors across the street, and then the 3 of us, and then it would be like the 5 of us would all have the bows on our, because those are the only neighbors that I really know that well. I mean, I know some of the other neighbors to like say hi to and stuff like that, but I mean, like, I'm not buying the whole 60 plus condos bows, you know what I mean? Amazon did not have them. The nursery did not have them. The garden center. I Google searched, and I was like, bows for mailboxes, for Christmas bows for mailboxes. I couldn't find them anywhere, like, looking to shop. And so then I saw it was like a DIY video, and so I was like, oh, well, maybe I could make them, right? And so I actually just tweeted out about this. And so here, you guys want to hear what my tweet is. I just tweeted out about this. True story, okay? Because I started watching this DIY video, and I was like, oh, I'll get the bows, and I'll get the ribbon, and I'll make really nice bows for everybody and whatever. And I watched 2 seconds of this video, and I was like, oh, forget it. This is totally too difficult for me. Okay, this will be funny to see what people said. So I said I was watching an easy, in parentheses, DIY video on how to make Christmas bows for your mailbox, and the first instruction was gather 12-inch section for center loop, and I was out. Ashley said, buy one that is already made, but I feel you. If it's not easy peasy, then forget it. I do not have the patience for... that's the thing. I'm talking about the ones that, like, have the bow on top and the ribbons that go around the side. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just, like, the red bow that sits at the top of the wreath. Who is this? Hold on a second. Excuse me, said, reminds me of a time I turned on a video called Yoga for Everyone, and the second pose involved involved a headstand. Noelle said, at that point, I'll pay for convenience and grab a bow at the Dollar Tree. You know what? The Dollar Tree might not be a bad idea, actually. I wonder if they might have them there. I'm going to go there and look. Okay, let's get back into the questions. Deb said, Scottish winters are gross, grim, and gray, but that's why I enjoy Christmas, all the pretty lights and happy faces and yummy food. And Jolene said, us in Seattle can relate, always gray, wet, cold, and it never ends. Okay, Deb, so I have to tell you, one of my favorite Christmas movies of life, and you'll either totally know what I'm talking about or you'll have no idea. She say Scottish. It's actually, I think it's not Scottish, I think it's just like, anyway, I don't know, but it's called Box of Delights, and it's a James Mansfield book. They turned it into a, like what's the PBS special or whatever, and it's like the music is so like Christmas, like do 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 do. Anyway, it's about this kid, and he has to go stay with his guardian in the English countryside. They never really say what happened to his parents, but anyway. And so there's all these other kids that are staying there too, and it's like all snowy, and there's like this Punch and Judy guy that comes that looks like Santa Claus, and he gives him this thing called the Box of Delights, and the Box of Delights will let you travel places and be small and be big and all this kind of stuff. And it all centers around, you can watch this on YouTube, you guys. It all centers around the 100th anniversary of the Christmas service at this Catholic church, like, in town, and all these things are going to happen there. So anyway, but if you've never seen the Box of Delights, you should watch it. It's fantastic. Somebody actually commented and said that they were trying to find, I felt kind of bad, but they were like, I tried to find a version of Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton on YouTube, but the only one that I could find was really like, it was bad quality, or I can't remember what they said, but anyway, it was hard to watch. And I was like, well, okay, the movie came out in like 1986, so it's probably like a videotaped copy, like a videotaped off of television like copy that somebody uploaded to YouTube. So like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, you know what I mean? But there are two versions of it, and because I watched one of them not too long ago, and I thought it was pretty good. Hold on a second, let me see if I can find it. Smoky Mountain Christmas. Yeah, there's two versions right here. Okay, one has 479,000 views on it. Here, I'm going to pull it up and see what it's like. And then the next one has 36,000 views. Yeah, this one is real good quality, you guys. It's really good quality. And this is from a channel called Holiday Favorites. Smoky Mountain Christmas. It's like my favorite channel, or my favorite movie. I love that movie so much. Okay, let's see more questions. Okay, so Diana said, just an idea, any room in the garage, even if Alex pulls his car in, you can use your ring light. Love you, Diana. Okay, first of all, I appreciate the comment, but our garage is so small that, like, it literally only has room for Alex's car, and, like, we have, like, just stuff, like, lining the walls around there. That being said, our garage is freezing, you guys. Like, I would have to put a heater out there, and if I was going to put a heater out there, I'd put a heater out here. It was so funny because my friend Valerie, she's like, and you're never going to get a heater for that front porch. And I said, you know, Valerie, I said, let me tell you something, Valerie. I said, for all the times that you tell me to keep on getting a heater for this front porch, I said, just as many people tell me that they don't really think that a heater out here would do that good. Okay, so I don't want to get, like, one of those huge heaters, you know, those propane heaters. I said butane to her, and she goes, I'm not trying to fill a lighter. Listen, Valerie, I'm not trying to get one of those super tall heaters out here. I don't even think we can have them in the neighborhood per the HOA. But I'm not trying to get one of those tall heaters out here, right? So the best that I can do is have, like, this little heater that's going to sit here, and it's going to be electric, and it's going to just, like, blow up at me. I don't really think it's going to do a whole lot. And honestly, most of my friends that I talk to about it, they're like, yeah, no heater like that is going to do any good. Caroline and I looked at them at Costco, and Caroline was like, I don't think these heaters are going to, like, I don't think you're going to get anything out of them if you... And she was like, you can get one. She was like, and pay $100 for it. She was like, but I don't think it's going to do you much good. But the garage is the same way. Our garage is freezing, so... Okay, Debs, you're commenting all over the place. She said, okay, you totally sold that grilled cheese and tomato basil soup. I'm so going to make that for dinner. It was good. She also said, am I the only one who thinks the wind adds to the ambiance? Cozy ASMR porch. Kelly said, fun fact, whenever I watch your vlog and you were talking about the weather, I know how to prepare for the next day or two because 9 times out of 10 that same weather hits New Jersey a day or two later. Thanks for the heads up. More accurate than the weather app. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody said, Rebecca said, same, just I'm in northern Pennsylvania. And another Kelly said, I always think that too. I'm in Florence, New Jersey, right below Trenton on the Delaware River in central Jersey. Stacy said, I don't understand why you wouldn't do something with the basement so you can film down there because I'm lazy. Followed by Olivia, who said, have you thought about creating a vlogging spot in the basement for when it gets cold? Just an idea. Nita said, every year when it starts to be winter, it's hard to remember that it starts to get dark around 4:45. And soon you can't even picture it staying light until 8:45, but come summer it does. Same is true for how cold it gets and how... A true story. It's funny because, like, and I say this to people a lot, it's like... I feel like I say this to, like, Uber drivers a lot, like, because, you know, just talking about random stuff, but it's like... when it's like 60 outside and it's like, oh, it's 60, that means it's like, and we're like, oh, it's cold, it's 60, right? But like in the spring, like 60 will be really warm and we'll all be wearing shorts in 60-degree weather and be so thankful for the for, oh my God, it's 60 degrees, it's summer outside, let's go lay out by the pool. You know what I mean? It's, Tanya and I, it's like so funny because like Tanya will go to Florida, stopped, and I'll say, and she'll be like, well, we're going to go to the beach like these 3 days. I'm like, you're going to go to the beach and lay out? It's like 73 in Florida. And she's like, as long as it's 70 and sunny, I'll lay outside. And I'm like, seriously? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I don't care. She's like, as long as I can get a little bit of sun. I'm like, okay, but it's 73. That's cold. And she's like, no, it's not cold at all. I'm like, okay. Okay, let's see, more, I haven't, like, read comments in so, I mean, I've read comments to myself, but I haven't read them, like, out loud on a video. Deb said, there are several full albums of Windham Hill music on YouTube, Peter. I remember their music awesome. You know, I hadn't thought about looking on YouTube. That's actually a good idea. Thank you. Okay, Michelle said, here, this is a good comment. Michelle said, thoughts on the Casey Anthony documentary. Been between watching that today, reading about the Moscow, Idaho murders, I think it's a serial killer, and the kidnapped and murdered 7-year-old here in Texas today. I know, it's so sad. I'm feeling heavy and can't sleep. Okay, so I feel really stuck on this documentary, and I guess I need somebody to, hold on a second, tell me what they think. I actually haven't, you know, it's funny because Mel, you know what, I should actually, I should text her right now while we're talking about this, because Mel and I haven't talked, and she actually sent me a TikTok today. I mean, true story, she just sent me a TikTok about the Casey Anthony case. I'm going to text her and see if she's watched the documentary. So I feel really split about it, okay? All of my friends, with the exception of Mel, which is so funny because we have the True Crime Book Club, all of my friends have watched the documentary, okay? And all of my friends are like, well, it's interesting, like one of my friends who's like real into true crime, she said the father did it. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Like, after we read the book in True Crime Book Club, I watched the documentaries, I watched the interviews. I mean, the girl, she's cold, you know? I mean, she's cold-hearted. And I just really, really struggle to believe that Casey Anthony didn't have anything to do with this. If that's the case, I don't know that I want to watch a documentary that is placating to the victimization of Casey Anthony. That's just how I feel about it. But am I interested to hear what she has to say? Sure. You know, Tanya was telling me some things that she said about being, like, having, like, you know, the relationship between her and her dad and SA and things like that. And, like, I feel like that was alleged and like, in the past. So, like, that, I wasn't surprised to hear that that comes out in the documentary. I don't know, like, it would take a pretty strong case in a documentary to change my opinion about Casey Anthony. Really, truly. And when you read the book, and when you read the evidence that is presented, and the evidence that was kept, there was a lot of evidence, you guys, in the case. I don't know if you know this. Like, the computer searches that Casey Anthony did on her own computer that were kept out of the court case. And, the way, like, the duct tape findings and things like that. I mean, there were so many things that were kept from the court case because it was just, like, it was a botched investigation job and things like that they didn't find out till after the fact. When you know all those pieces and you see those pieces together and you see the searches that Casey Anthony did on her own computer and things like that, and coming up with the fake babysitter's name and on and on and on, and the, you know, the babysitter's name, what was her name, like Zanny or something like that, and you know, she was really keeping the daughter in the trunk of the cars. I mean, it's just like all of these things, right? And it's like, there was no babysitter, she never existed, and you hear all this, and it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know that I want to watch a documentary that is going to make me in any kind of way feel sorry for this woman. I just don't, you know? Tanya said she thought I should watch it. Tanya was like, I think you should watch it. I think it would give you a different perspective, a different point of view. I think it's weird, you know, she wasn't convicted, so, I mean, she's innocent. I'm trying to think of an analogy for what it would be like. I mean, like, I don't know that I would watch, like, an interview. Maybe I would, you know, like, there was, like, the Iceman interviews and things like that, and there's, like, the confession tapes and things like that. If it were to help you further understand those things, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about some of that stuff, but I think it's a good question. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you gonna, have you watched the Casey Anthony documentary? Are you gonna watch it? Let me know. And Mel has not responded to me yet, so if she does, I will let you know. Teresa spent all day at Comic-Con. Yay! All 4T Swizzle said, 3rd on my 39th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Brian said, Peter, if you're still vlogging on your channel in 3 billion years, you really will be the old man of YouTube, but you'd still have an audience. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Tiak said, that stuff freaks me out too. I don't know what she's talking about. Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up? That movie, oh, she's talking about when I was talking about like outer space and stuff. That movie will mess with you for sure. Okay, so we watched that movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I have to tell you though, like I really enjoy like end of the world movies, like Armageddon and all those movies. Deep, what's the other one? I can't remember. But anyway, I love all those movies. But there was something about that was like, once you got past the adventure part of it, that was kind of like endearing to some degree. You know, I kind of wonder, like, if given that, you know, it's so interesting because I feel like we're a society that does, like, we fight everything, but at the same time, we're a rather passive society. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's like, how can you be both at the same time? I don't know, but like, watching that movie, it kind of made me wonder, like, what part of us would be passive in that situation and just be accepting of the fact that the world was ending and like sit down for one last dinner. Like, I wonder, you know. I actually thought it was a really good movie. I really liked it. I mean, I think it was up for an Academy Award. I wasn't rooting for it to win the Academy Award, but I thought it was really well done. And I thought that there were a lot of really great people that were in it. So yeah, I was impressed with that movie. I liked that movie. It did spook me though. It did mess up my head for a little while. Official J Price said, I never get bored of you, Peter. I love you. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, the 5 Shannon said, we're never bored. It's a convo with our friend Peter, even if it's part talking to the screen. You guys are so sweet. Okay. Okay, AKA Constantine said, I heard this quote, unlike us, dogs don't live in the past or the future. They only ever live in the present. So make their present the very best. That's why they're so special. They keep us in the present. No matter how much time you have, the present is all that matters. Aww. I really like that. Thank you for that. You know, I know I've talked about this on here many times, but when Pee Pee passed away, this gave me such consolation, and for anybody out there that's lost a pet, cat, dog, ferret, fish, whatever, for anybody that's, oh, Mel just texted me back. No, she said she doesn't have Peacock. Oh, I'm gonna ask her. She'll probably say yeah. She don't care. Mel's like, I don't care. But I started watching these videos on YouTube of like what happens to dogs on the other side, dogs afterlife, things like that, right? Like, I just was like looking for anything, any kind of burning bush kind of deal, you know? And I fell into watching these videos by veterinarians, you know? And they all were kind of like about dogs dying. And what was interesting about it was what they all consistently said, which was that dogs don't have any concept of death. Like, you know, for humans, like, if we get sick and we're afraid to die, or, you know, our family is like afraid for us to die and things like that. But like, dogs don't have that concept. They just don't want to feel pain anymore. They just don't want to hurt anymore. And so when they pass away, they truly aren't feeling any pain anymore, you know? And I think, like, for me, like, that really, really, really gave me some peace in knowing that, you know, PP was at peace. Like, he wasn't in any pain anymore. Because he was in a lot of pain at the end. Like, a lot. And Tucker was in a lot of pain at the end, you know? I mean, Tucker couldn't even stand up. I mean, it was... that last night with Tucker was so bad. I mean, it was bad, you know? And so... I don't know. I think it's true. You have to live in the present. It's hard for me, though, you know, because I mean, Boo's my little guy, and I can't imagine my world without him, and he's also like the last of the three, you know, and so I think I get very caught up in that, and like it's kind of the to some degree like the end of an era. I think I talked about this on here the other day, but I had like a bad nightmare about PP the other day, which is really weird because I don't really dream about him very often anymore, or have nightmares or anything about him, but I had this like really, yeah, I did talk about this on here. I had this really weird nightmare about him. And then yesterday I had like a dream about Boo Radley, and he and I were like in like this snowstorm or something. I don't know. I woke up and I told him, I said, Boo Radley, I said, we were in a snowstorm. He said, we were? I said, we were. He didn't believe it, though. Okay, let's see what Mel said about the documentary. She said, probably because I'm a nosy bitch. Oh, and that's why she's my friend. I love her so much. Anyway, you guys, okay, I'm going to get off here now. And go inside and figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want Alex just to run me to the grocery store. I know it seems like super late, but it's not. It's just 7-Eleven right now. Look at it outside. It's like pitch black and 7-Eleven. I mean, it might as well be 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I hope I don't forget to, I keep on forget to post this video and then I wake up like super late. I know you guys, like, you see it go up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, Peter just woke up. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. This has been really fun tonight, and I love you guys, and I hope that you're having a magically amazing Saturday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. It might just be changing their day, putting a smile on their face, making them feel supported, making them feel loved, making them feel not so all alone. And I love you guys. And most importantly, also, also, well, maybe not most importantly, but be kinder to yourself, or be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and be kinder and love yourself a little bit more. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.